What's up, everyone? This is Gibberish HS here today, and today we're going to be talking about a few of my favorite custom quests. I decided to make this video because of the Saviors of Old Doom expansion that's coming out, and we've already seen two quests, Warlock and I believe Druid. So I thought it'd be cool to look at some custom quests that have been going on around the harshcards.net and just see what's going on in the community. So I found a few of my favorite cards. I'll be giving them a star rating, and yeah, so let's get into it. We're gonna start with a Druid cost legendary quest. It's called Untamed Forest. Quest: summon 15 Trents. Reward: Cenarius the Forest God. So 15 Trents is a lot, but let's see what the reward is. Cenarius the Forest God is a 5 cost 8/8 battle cry for the rest of the game. Any Trents you summon are transformed into 5/5 ancients. So this is really strong if you can get this, but like I said, 15 Trents is a lot. I mean, you're talking about, like, of all the cards, if you, like, utilize all the cards that you have at your disposal for Trents, you got cards like Soul of the Forest, which can be really helpful. You got cards like Flubliminous Floop, Cenarius, Poison Seeds, Living Mana is a really good one. Force of Nature. Alright, and another big one is the Forest Aid. So all of these summon a decent amount of Trents, but your key ones are going to be Poison Seeds, Soul of the Forest, and the Forest Aid. Uh, this quest is probably better in Wild just because of Poison Seeds. Poison Seeds is probably like huge for this, but I think it's a fairly good card. But like, if let's say you guys each have your full board, and you play Poison Seeds, and then you play some like landscaping, alright? So you can actually get almost all of your quests by that. And then once you've done that, any card like Witchwood Apple is going to be really good. You get play a 2 class 5/5. Alright? Something like Living Mana would be huge. Alright? Summon a 2/2 minion for, each transfer your mana crystals into that. Now they're 5/5s. Like, that would be huge. Soul of the Forest. So, I think it's a great quest and a great idea. A little hard to get, but I think it's pretty cool. So, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, just because I think it's going to be really hard to get to that you might not be able to survive the late game. So, moving on, we're going to Tumultuous Finale, which is a warrior quest, and it says, destroy 6 minions in 1 turn. Reward: Arch Warrior Avon. Now, I will say I love this art that they chose for it. It looks really beautiful. Now, Arch Warrior Avon is a 5 cost 8/8 beast, very standard to Un'Goro, and it says battle cry whenever you play a minion in this game, it attacks a random enemy. Now, this is a very interesting concept. We've seen this concept kind of before with a beast and warrior that Warrior had in the expansion of Un'Goro. So, with this card, it's a benefit and a curse, as you guys know. But I think it's actually pretty good because it's very easy to get. Destroying 6 minions with 1 board clear for Warrior is not a big deal. Brawl, Warpath, that's not a big deal. So, I want you guys to keep that in mind that this is actually pretty easy, I think, to achieve. Alright, so when you look at this, think of it that way. Now, the card I was thinking of is a 7 cost 9/9 Swamp King Dread. He's a hunter card, my bad. And he's a beast. And after your opponent plays a minion, attack it. So this is kind of like that, except for it's a little more direct. Whenever you play a minion, it attacks. So I think it's really strong and really powerful. Really good for the late game. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 in star ratings. So moving on, next we have the backup, the Rogue Quest. And it says play 6 lackeys, reward the Expendables. So the Expendables is for the rest is a 4-cost spell, and for the rest of the game, whenever you play a non-lackey card, add a random lackey to your hand. Now, I think this is actually going to get even more powerful with Saviors of Uldum because we will have more lackeys coming out. But I think this is a great idea for a card, and I think it's really strong. You know, lackeys are so good at generating just cards, you know. And so this helps you get the card generation that you need as a rogue. But like one problem with this is that you could actually gain too many cards. I actually would like to see this card in a different class, but I think rogue is fitting for it. So I like it. But I'm just saying I think maybe a different class like warrior or hunter would really benefit from this. So I'm gonna give this card a 5 out of 5. I think it's really good. So, moving on. Rise of Cthulhu. Now, this is a priest quest, so keep that in mind. That will affect how this card plays out. Give your Cthulhu 10/10. Reward Cthulhu Whisper. And the reward is a 1-cost hero power. Cthulhu Whisper. Give your Cthulhu up to 2 wherever they are. Now, I think this is really strong, and I think it's a really good deck. It's interesting that it's Cthulhu, because Cthulhu is, you know... I mean, it's interesting that it's Priest, my bad. Because Priest is not the strongest Cthulhu advocator. So it's interesting to see this in this class, because it makes it harder to actually get the quests. Now, there are cards that help with this, and you can definitely get it to 10/10 with in Priest, but it is harder to do than in some other classes. So I'm actually really happy to see this in Priest. I think it's a really well balanced card, and the only thing I would probably change personally is I probably would make the hero power 2 cost, just because I think that would be more balanced in the game itself. But I really like it, and so I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Next, Loot Mirage, so this is a rogue quest, another one, and it says give your opponent 5 cards, reward, Analak the Gold. I'm not really sure how to say that. So Analak the Gold is a 5-cost 8/8 dragon. Don't see very much dragons in rogue. Background, fill your hand with copies of a random card you gave to your opponent this game. They cost 1. That's very specific. So let's read the quest again, alright? Give your opponent 5 cards. So, fill your hand with copies of a random card you gave to your opponent. So, 1 card is filled with your hand, and it costs 1. So, I think this is actually really smart and really interesting. And I have some questions about, like, if I give him more cards before I play this, does that go, could one of those go into the hand, or is it only the ones I get from the quest? So this is something we would have to ask. I think it's really strong, but it's really interesting because it lets you think about the cards you're giving to your opponent, you know, and makes it a different type of rogue, you know. Instead of just giving your opponent weird or crappy stuff, now you're having to focus more on stuff that you don't usually would do. Like, maybe I should give him something big on purpose, have a way of killing it. That way I can do it like that. You know, I think that's just something that we should keep in mind, because I think it's a really cool new type of rogue, one that we don't have right now, and one that would be interesting to the meta. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. We are going to move on to the next card, which is Fishing Grove, a shaman one, and this is our last card actually. Fishing Grove is a 1-cost, you know, all that stuff. Quest, draw 12 cards using your cards. Reward, Miracle Fish. Miracle Fish is a 5-cost spell. Swap decks with your opponent. So, it's got the toggle effect, but it doesn't let you trade back. And this is interesting because you draw 12 cards, right, using your cards. So you are drawing stuff, as you do this, and so by the time you give this to your opponent, your deck's going to be fairly empty. So I think this is a really interesting card. I'm a big fan. So yeah, I'm going to rate this 4 out of 5 stars. So there you go, guys. That's the Quest custom card review. I've really enjoyed finding these and deciding which ones I should look at. So I appreciate all y'all's help and support. So please like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting more videos. Next video should be about my Warcraft videos. So please keep an eye on that. And yeah, so we'll see you guys next time with next card review. See ya.